morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Wednesday here at our house, and I thought that I would just pop on and share a little bit about my garlic bed. I've had so many people spot my garlics and ask me how they look so gorgeous, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little self-bragging here. They do look really good this year. I definitely have a formula for how I grow them, so I thought I would share that with you guys. I know everybody has a little bit of a different way that they grow their garlic, but this is mine, so take it for what you will. Maybe you want to pull some things from it, or maybe you want to do something totally different. That's up to you. So behind me is red Russian garlic, and that's what we chose to grow just because, well, it tastes amazing. It stores really well, and it overwinters excellent. And we like to grow our garlic in the fall. Now, I know that some people grow their garlic in the springtime. That's not my preference. I just think we get better results in the fall. So right now behind me you can see it's scape cutting time. If you don't know what scapes are, these are garlic scapes right here. So they're super tasty. We like to fry them, put them in stir fry, make pesto out of them. And I love to freeze them and pop them into soups and dips and stuff. Roast them. Maybe you guys can share with me what you like to do, because I'm looking for some more ideas. I recently just found a recipe for pickling them, so I thought I would give that a try if we have enough. We're still enjoying scapes from last year, and if you absolutely hate scapes, I recommend selling them or giving them away. Giving them away is probably nicer. Selling them though, if you don't want to give them away, if you're looking to recoup some costs on your homestead, everybody loves scapes. So red Russian garlic, and we bought it from a local farmer, and that's totally my recommendation. Support your local farmers and buy a bag of garlic if you can. So you get them in a full clove. So they come in a little brown paper bag, usually in a full clove, and you don't need a lot to start because you're not using the clove to plant, you're using the separate individual cloves inside the bulb. You're not using the bulb to plant, you're using the separate individual cloves inside. So in the fall time, we started this about 3 years ago, I want to say, and we've not had to buy them again. So you only have to buy one start bag if you do it right. So we get out in the fall and we separate the bulbs into little cloves. We don't take the skin off of them. You want to make sure that that skin stays intact. That's really important because the skin protects it from rotting over winter. And then we get out some bone meal. I just have a bag of bone meal with me, and I dig a trough in the dirt, and then I put my clove with a little pointy top facing upward into the ground. About 2 inches is usually what we do. It gets really cold here in the winter time. It can get to -20, and it can get quite wet in the dirt, and it's a bulb, so you don't want it to rot, and you don't want you want it to be insulated well. So red Russian is really winter cold resistant, but you still want to give it lots of good insulation. And then throw a handful of bone meal in with it, or sprinkle in some bone meal into your trough and plant them. I plant them about 4 inches apart. I keep them pretty tight because we put a lot of compost into our dirt. So if you have really good dirt, then go and stack them in. Give them enough room to grow and stretch out, but do them tight. And then about 5 inches in the rows is what I usually go for, approximately. I'm just guessing, but that's about what I go for. So I pack them in really tight. You can see they're not suffering. So they're quite happy. They've got their feed. And then you just cover them up and pat them down, and then put a layer of about that much hay on top. And just keep in mind it compacts in the winter time. So the hay versus the straw is what we chose, because we find we get less weeds if we put hay down. So hay also, or straw, pardon me, also has a little bit of air inside it, and it keeps them warm. So definitely mulching them, whatever you choose to do, grass, hay, straw. I don't know, whatever. I wouldn't use wood chips. Should be good. Just make sure that you give them a cover. Now, that's disputed, but I would never leave mine uncovered, especially with the colds that we get. And I've seen people who leave them uncovered, and there's always posts every spring on our garden page about people's garlic cloves not coming up. And every time I ask, they haven't covered them. So I would definitely cover them. And you can see we leave our mulch on all season because it helps keep the moisture in. It keeps everything just happy, weeds out, and all that. So in the springtime, they start to poke up out of the ground, and it's the first thing that comes up in my garden. It's always really exciting. The kids run outside and they're like, "Mom, the garlic cloves are up." So it's always really fun. I'm not going to talk about storing them because they would have seen me store them the previous season before, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, so they'll see them pop up and they're really excited. They start to sprout up really fast. Oh, someone just laid an egg. It's the song of her people. So I can't even think with that. I mean, she's loud. She sounds like my kids. So yeah, so they start to poke up and they grow pretty fast, and you get all those beautiful shoots that you can see in the background. They're really pretty. And mine get to be quite a few feet tall. And then, oh, come on. Good job, girl. You go. You tell them. It's Chicoletta. She's our black copper Marans. She lays these beautiful dark brown eggs. Definitely something to be proud of. So, after that happens, about this time of year, we get the garlic scapes, and they shoot up, and I cut them off. I cut them off because I like to have all of the energy going into the bulb that's in the ground. Which reminds me, one thing that I forgot to mention to you guys is we selectively choose our bulbs every year. So out of the garlic that we dry and harvest, I put aside the biggest, hugest cloves to go into the garden, and it's always hard because I want to eat them, but we save those. So they go back into the ground, and selectively choosing our garlic bulbs keeps our garlic bigger and bigger every year, and it's definitely proven true. My first year they were quite small, and like you can see now this year they're just beautiful. So anyways, back to scapes. So I cut them off, and that just allows the energy to keep going into the bulb. Some people don't cut off scapes, but I say why not? What difference does it make if you cut them off or if you don't? It doesn't hurt them to cut them off, and if you don't like them, just give them away to a friend. There's going to be somebody who will be thrilled to have some fresh garden scapes from your produce and bounty. So but it's up to you. If you don't cut them off, just realize that at a certain point they get kind of woody if you leave them on for too long. So we like to cut them off as soon as they do 2 curls. So you can see this one has started its second rotation. I could have let it go for a little bit longer. And would just cut them off close to the base of the scape itself, but you're not going to cut off anything else, just the scape, not the rest of the leaves. And then we let them grow, and we let them grow and grow until they start to die. And when all the garlic leaves are brown and dead looking, and it just looks a complete mess, and it's so hard to wait. Trust me, it's really hard to wait. When everything is pretty much dead, then you get to pull them out of the ground, which is like Christmas in August, July, whenever. Depends from year to year. And yeah, it's exciting. The kids all come and help me. We pull them out very carefully, so I just kind of prod in the dirt with a little bit of a pitchfork to loosen it, and then we pull them straight up very carefully with 2 hands. They're pretty tough, but we just like to keep the bulb intact. And then we do the drying, and they sit and dry for quite a few weeks as they cure. Just some things to keep in mind with garlic. They're a bulb, so you don't want to rot them by overwatering them. So I water mine every 3 to 4 days in the summertime while they're growing, and in the springtime I actually, once the ice is off, once the ground is dry and it's not sodden, I water them daily because I find that they like lots of water, but I do keep an eye on my mulch and how much water retention I've got in it, so I'm gonna check it and make sure it's not drenched. I don't water them at all when it's pouring and raining like it is this week. They don't need it. But you just want to keep an eye that you're not rotting your bulb in the ground. I have seen some people who just rot their bulb in the ground by overwatering, so don't do that. But yeah, other than that, they're super easy to grow, and I think they're my most favorite plant in the garden to grow besides patty pan squashes, which we really enjoy. And onions, they're also pretty fun, but garlic scapes, I don't know, compared to onions, there's just something extra about them. They're just extra exciting to grow, so, but that's just my personal opinion. So that's our method of garlics, and I hope that was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any tips that you like to do, or what your favorite type of garlic is to grow, or even better, what's your favorite recipe? I'm looking for those recipes. Anyways, have a wonderful week, everyone. Take care. Bye. That's it. Yep.
We'll see how big this baby is.
Just be gentle with them, please. Because we don't want to rip the skin, Bias.
Okay.